So we are back again to the All Right channel, and I'm going to talk about my summer a little bit with you guys. This summer we did a road trip, which I actually really highly advise for anybody that hasn't done one. I actually think every single American should do this. I think, especially family. If you have family, you absolutely need to do this. Speaking of, I got my wife on the line somewhere today.
Hello, everybody.
There you go. So we did a road trip this summer, and it was like pretty special. We got to do a pretty big cross section of the U.S. I think a little bit more than like 1,200 miles, and some of the amazing things. What happens on a road trip that I think is really important is like you really understand one how large and how diverse the country is. You find things out about the country that you didn't necessarily realize. In fact, I think you can attest to that, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Say again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I didn't hear you super well. I gotta turn you up a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, what you find out is that, we're a republic. This is what the country is supposed to be. We're a republic. We're a diverse range of people. We got free travel between us, but we're supposed to be different. We're supposed to be independent, and be able to build independent cultures. And what was interesting was like when you travel across the U.S. and you really get to see this. As long as you stay out of the urban areas, like every urban area across the entire country is basically the same. Every urban area. In fact, I can't remember which commentator I heard say this, but this is really true. Like every urban area has an art district, has a business district, has like the gay district, it has like the suburbs. You have like basically every urban area is exactly the same, and that's why the people are constantly like trying to find diversity, whether it's in like race or religion or something like this, because they don't understand there's this broad range of diversity and diversity of ideas and diversity of behavior and dress and culture once you go outside the urban areas. Urban areas just create this mass concentration, and you could go basically to almost every major city in the country, and a lot of things are largely interchangeable. Once you get out of the major cities and you start traveling across the country, you realize how wildly diverse and unique of a country we are, and how incredibly blessed we are because of that. So, yeah, all right. Like, so in our trip, we made it through kind of the northern Midwest. So I got to spend some time in Indianapolis, Chicago, and then huge cross section of Michigan. And I'll say starting off, like one of the things I would say that the positive and the disappointing is I went to the Soldiers and Sailors Monument, Indianapolis, which is arguably my favorite of our memorial. I said monument, sorry, memorial. Architecturally, it's beautiful. It's actually really impressive, and it's always been one of my favorite to go to. And it was, and this trip was like surprising because it was in really bad shape. Amazed the money that we put into things, and then we allow our memorials to be like decrepit. There's mold, there's algae on stuff, there's like broken stone around, there were lights that were all disheveled, and I wanted to go into the memorial, and it actually was closed because the caulking on the windows had been leaking for a period of time, and it ended up like literally ruining the whole interior, which was like a Civil War museum. And you lost artifacts that will never be able to be replaced, and as well as just like, how does this even happen? And it's so like peak fitting of our current country. Kind of like how Biden is this perfect fit for our nation, like right now. You look at our nation, and what we have leading it is like this, this like decrepit leader that can't even speak. And it's like, yeah, exactly. This is perfectly fitting of like our country right now, like who we are as a people right now. This is what we deserve. And you see kind of similar, I think, in like the treatment of our memorials. Like this should be one of like our more revered sites in our whole country, and it's treated just like garbage. Like most of the outside of it was garbage, and the fact that there was caulking leaking, and so we're going to ruin a museum exhibit. Like meanwhile, we're spending like what, $45 quadrillion to Ukraine's. Um, it was so like peak. Yeah, this is America right now, and it clearly showed. This is what the premise of the current nationalist movement, and even populist nationalist movement is like. No, we obviously need to focus on stuff here first. There's very clearly things hurt here first that we should be focusing on, and one of these is like our sense and pride in our things like our memorials and our monuments, and so the neat end though of the story is I was outside and explaining to my kids about the history of this memorial, and there was actually somebody that worked for the memorial service that asked me if I wanted to go inside. And he saw me trying to find a way in and said, "Yeah, it's actually closed." And he's like, "You know what? But if you want to go inside, let me see what I can do." And so he talked to some of the contractors that were there working, and they actually did take us inside, which is pretty special. It's my favorite memorial in the whole country. I got like immensely teary-eyed when this happened, but like they took me and the kids inside, and they took us up. There's a little tiny elevator that goes up in the memorial, and so we got to do like a private tour. We get to go into the memorial. We got to go down the road afterwards to the actual like soldiers memorial museum.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm not saying the name of that right. Hang on, let me look at this real quick. I don't want to lead people astray on this one. Yeah, Indiana War Memorial Museum. It's probably one of the best war museums in the country. I don't think there's much that would compare with that. It was fantastic. The crypt in it was absolutely beautiful. Highly recommend. Would highly recommend if you can make it to Indianapolis. This is one of the must see sites in the U.S. From there we went up to Chicago, which was equally sad to see this like fantastic city that's just being allowed to literally decay. It's like literally just rotting. You look at the expansion joints on the bridges, you look at the condition of like steel structures in that city. It's like literally a city that's being allowed to decay. Like, how did we have like a president that came from there? Like, how are we selecting our like political leaders, like our political leadership class, our current aristocracy from places that are like just being allowed to decay? This is so like peak understanding the problems of the country today. And then from there, of course, we did this like great trip through Michigan. And I think until you actually go do one of these trips yourself, you just don't understand like the sheer amount of geographical and even like human diversity within our country. I think, well, hey, go ahead. What would you think of Michigan?
Very surprising.
In what way?
Huge terrain, beautiful lakes, beautiful mountains. Definitely surprised by it. And then we saw the dunes, right?
Yeah, Sleeping Bear Dunes.
Oh gosh, that was incredible. Almost surreal. Like people are looking for those surreal scenery in movies, and we have right here in your country, in America. So it's pretty neat.
Yeah, so like, great example that was like the James Cameron. What was the film with the blue people?
Oh gosh. Oh my gosh.
Avatar.
Avatar.
So like people are totally obsessed over Avatar, and you
Yeah.
could just do a road trip in the United States and see things that are like arguably just as impressive, like every single day. You could hit a different destination every single day and find things that were arguably just as impressive as anything you would find in this film. And like, yeah, you're right. You say people like escape and cope into films when they should just get in the car and do a road trip. The United States, even with the current Biden gas prices and the Biden fuel hike. One second. I got a work call coming in. One moment. Actually, I'm going to have to cut this out. One second. Hello. Yes, sir.
that the van don't have no gas on it. And I jump in my truck and I go in my truck and you will take it out of there.
There's no gas? Okay. Well, let me know what you think it costs you in gas, and I'll put you that many extra hours on.
Okay, no problem.
What I would check, look in the boxes in the van and make sure you got all the belts from the van.
I get all. I pick
Okay.
all what I see in the van. All what I had in the van, I carry all.
Okay, good luck. Let me know what you find. Thank you.
I will let you know.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, so later.
Bye.
All right.
All right, back. All right, back. There you go. So, all right, back. So, and I think the American, it seems like more people are road tripping, but I think it's less families road tripping now. I think it's more like millennial singles and stuff like this, or millennial like young couples. And I highly recommend the American road trip. You know, in the US, you have literally endless destinations, whether you want to go see national parks, whether you want to just go visit, like, you know, just literally travel through the country yourself and see the amount, a range of both geographical and behavioral diversity. And it makes it really clear, like really, really click, like when we really clear, like really quickly, why we were a republic, right? We're a republic so that we could take, you know, all these different regions and peoples, and we could kind of come together and at least have the strength of a federal structure in regards to warfare and currency and patents and things like this, but still appreciate and give credence to like our like unique regional characteristics and culture. That's why, arguably, I think the 17th Amendment is one of like the worst things that we ever did. You know, letting state legislatures determine senators would have basically meant we would have been right wing, like with Senate forever. At least until now, and probably for all the perceivable future. America is geographically, and if we're looking at as far as a republic, like broadly right wing. We still have like a shared culture in that way. And it's just urban centers that are the deviation of that. So you have these urban population centers that basically are all monolithic and are the difference in the entire United States, the American project. The American project of having this broad range of different cultures and peoples that would come together as a republic and be able to have this strong federal structure. And what's happened is the federal has more and more attempted to take basically what spawns out of urban areas and push it onto everybody else. And so I think one of the things that is a great way to begin to understand why we are a republic and start building a goal of countering this is, the American road trip. Go get in a vehicle. I know fuel is expensive now. And I know it's expensive specifically because of actions taken by one political party, i.e. the Democrat Party, with Mr. Joe Biden. Allegedly is their head. Who knows that guy? I don't even know if that does that guy even know? Does he even know that he exists? Like this geriatric loser. I don't even know if he's even aware of his own sentience. Anyways, we're way off on this rabbit trail. American road trip was a great time. I'm so happy we got to do it this summer. But though there are a few major takeaways that were highlights, it was wonderful to see this range of diversity in the country. But also, it was really sad. It was sad to see this memorial with the amount of money that our federal estate has and what we've put it to. It really clearly shows where our priorities are, and we let memorials are a symbol of our country, be in such decrepit shape. And this needs to change. This needs to change right away. And then also seeing like our great cities being allowed to rot. So but you get out of the city, you immediately see just profound amounts of beauty across this country. So strongly recommend it. I can plan to continue to do this every summer, and I encourage all of you to do the same. The Great American Road Trip is still alive. It's still a thing.
And it's not parents.
What's that?
See your grandparents.
Yeah, go see your grandparents. If your grandparents live in a different city, get in your car, go see your grandparents. Stop a few places along the way. It's really easy to do. We got this fantastic interconnected, federal highway system. We've got this fantastic road system. I mean, we got amenities that are better than anywhere else in the world in some of this. And get out and do them. Get out and experience them. Get out of the cities and go get in your car and go get on a road trip. Like I said, go see your grandparents. Go pick a memorial like 400 miles from you and go see one of our national memorials. So we have to do more than that. We have to do more of that. And remember, your entire republic depends on it. So go do it. Go do a road trip. That's right.